I didn't put the little over. Hold on, let me edit that. Oh, Monty. Monty was always here before we start. Before we start, man. We get the score.
He's so mad. Oh my god, dude. He just thumbs. I said it's the rivalry. It should have been better, but I'm not mad at all. And we still covered. And he thumbs down responded it. so mad, dude. Wow.
The fact that Duke covered, this is one of the biggest point spreads in a Duke UNC game ever.
Yeah.
And the fact that we covered says a lot.
Yeah, I told my friends that don't expect Duke to cover.
I expected like a 5 to 6 point game.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be definitely.
I would have hammered UNC against the spread. It's the rivalry. I wouldn't have thought twice about it.
Where is Bruce Wayne? Before we start, man, Bruce Wayne, show yourself. I know you're watching. I know you're watching, my guy. I know you're watching. Don't be silent in the comments. Oh, yep, there he is. There he is. Oh my goodness. The cope. Bruce Wayne, man. Sorry, man. I don't even feel bad, but we might just leave you alone today because that was pathetic. That was pathetic. All right, let me find the intro. There we go.
The three of you guys, man, thank you for what you guys do, and appreciate you guys having me on.
We were trying not to score and everything. We got about 33s or something.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of felt that. We kind of feed off that energy.
This place is amazing. Like I really love Duke, and I love the atmosphere I'm in here.
Mark Williams, beast mode. Paolo first half, he had the cramping stuff. Fair enough. Beast mode.
Oh man. Ooh, belt to ass, ladies and gentlemen. Belt to ass. Welcome back to the Crazy Cast. Oh man, what a victory. Duke blows out UNC 87-70. Here with my guy Russ and my guy Jack. I think you've been on the show before, but shout out my guy Jack from the 5 Point Play team. And obviously, if you've seen this Instagram and Twitter, go follow him over there. But fellas, man, were you expecting that?
No, I wasn't. I mean, I expected to win, but I always expect the rivalry to be close. Just historically, always expected to be close. This wasn't close. The final score was way closer than the actual game. I've got Duke fans in my texts who are furious that it was only a 17-point win. What a game. I mean, the first half was incredible. Second half, I mean, UNC, once the game was over, they felt content to win the second half. You know what I mean? You get what you can, I guess. But yeah, I just felt like it was such a good and satisfying game on the whole. I thought it was really great. I mean, I thought for 30 minutes we absolutely demolished them. I mean, they're not a tournament team, but it's still the rivalry. There are years where they suck and shouldn't be tournament teams or barely tournament teams where they're still really competitive, and this was just never a competitive game. Cooper Flagg, the Khan slander by people.
Oh, so done.
Better be done. If anyone thinks of remotely slandering the man, which should have been dead ages ago at this point. But he was phenomenal. The defense was great. Even guys that have been struggling. I mean, I tweeted it out, but I know Evans didn't play a lot, but when he was in, he looked good. Caleb looked pretty good when he was in. People like to slander Tyrese. Tyrese had a phenomenal game. I mean, what is there to say? I mean, just what a great team performance, out-coached, outplayed, out-talented, out-hustled, out-everything. I don't have a single complaint other than it would have been nice to win by 40, sure. Like, it would have been nice, but also clearly we were looking ahead to games that matter, like the Clemson game, you know. So I feel like that's all that there is to say.
Oh man, Jack, man, what you think, man?
It's fun. Well, I just want to say thank you guys for having me.
Sure.
I was talking on the 5 Point Play podcast this week about how I expected this to be between like a 5 and 8 point game. I think the margin I gave was 6 points. I think I said 83-77, something like that. And it was not 83-77. The defense was as good as it's been all season, I'd say. Having Malik back is huge. I think there were some segments during the Wake Forest game last weekend where the defense was just absolutely suffocating, and I think we saw that for a good 30 minutes tonight, and it's just phenomenal, especially the offense clicking 50% from deep.
Yeah.
I don't know what there is to say. I'm blown away.
Back up the top 5 in both defense and offense in Ken Palm, by the way.
Is that like updated?
That's updated, yeah.
Oh wow. Quick Ken Brown was quick today. But yeah, I mean, piggybacking off of what everything y'all said, I mean,
Houston lost? Wait a minute.
yeah, Houston lost.
Wait, Houston lost?
I wasn't paying attention, man.
Yeah,
without
I saw that game went to
without
OT.
Toppin, holy Lord.
I didn't want to text you that because we would need to stay focused on Duke.
That's
you know,
true.
but,
That's fair. Thank you for not texting me and distracting me.
But yeah, I think it was a great game tonight. I mean, there's not much complaints. My biggest thing coming in was I need our guard play. I tweeted it last game that our guard play had to show up tonight. We had to get good guard play tonight, and I mean, Khan, Tyrese, Sion. Tyrese gave you 17, Sion gave you 13, Khan gave you 22. You can't ask for more than that. Cooper set the tone. Yo, that kid is different, man. That kid is different, man. The first 5 minutes, 9 points. What was it? 4 assists, 2 steals. Like, come on, though. And that kid came into the game knowing, like he said a year ago, it's not gonna happen again. It's not gonna happen again. And to have a kid that can set the tone like that, I mean, oh man, he's special, man. He etched himself in Duke UNC history tonight. Obviously, he got a second game, so you still gotta complete the sweep. But man, it was terrific all around. Come on, was great tonight. Even he had 6 points. Those were allowed 6 points. I didn't realize he only had 6, but just his presence defensively. Malik Brown is back, still impacting defensively, deflections all over the place. And Carolina stinks, man. Carolina stinks. That's a bad team, man. That's a
10 losses on February 1st is crazy.
10 losses on February 1st. I wish I had a soundboard. That is crazy. Like Russ said, I mean, they're clearly not a tournament team right now. They're gonna
not right now.
They're gonna need that game, the end of the season to even like make an argument at this point. Like 1-9 or 1-10 in quad 1 games, and even UCLA that game was a little bit fraudulent to me. But yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean Torvik had them at 43.9% chance of making the tournament before today. And, like losing is just going to knock it down even more. Even though they weren't expected to win, it's still just like an opportunity that slid through their fingers. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's really bad for them. I think they're in dire straits, really.
Yeah. But, it'll be even sweeter if we can just close that coffin at the end of the season. Just
nail it down. I think in particular, if they get to 13 losses before the tournament, there's zero chance I can see annoyingly a world in which they have like 12 losses, but if they win, like if they like beat us or if they like win the game at Clemson or whatever, like the committee's gonna find a way because UNC is one of like the big name programs. You know what I mean? Like it has to be the sort of thing where they're unimpeachably zero chance, right? Like,
Right.
but Duke can certainly ice that cake, so to speak.
Yeah.
With that last game, if we can do it. I guarantee the foul calls are going to be insane
Oh yeah.
on
You
March
know we're
8th.
getting Castle Ayers and Valentine that game.
But like that's gonna be good practice for the tournament because in the tournament we're gonna see SEC teams or Big 12 teams that are gonna play real physical, that are gonna hack, that are gonna do whatever. And like I know the ACC, just those games aren't really called like that. But like Zion, you and I have been texting about watching SEC games and Big 12 games. Like they let it all go.
No,
They
they
let it
do.
all go.
They do.
And so, like, if we're expecting foul calls in games like that, we're not going to win. So, I think it's good for us to go like into Little John, into the Dean Dome when they're going to get a beneficial whistle as every home team does, but especially a team that is very reliant on getting free throws. I think it's going to be really good to show that we can still win in those situations.
For sure. But yeah, back to this game, this beatdown. I think we could jump into this conversation. I want to get Jack's thoughts first because I know how Russ feels, but I don't know if Russ, your mind changed after the Duke game. The Janai Broom versus Cooper Flagg National Player of the Year race is hot right now, very hot. You had Russ had it as Janai Broom earlier today. I said let Cooper Flagg play. Jack, what's your thoughts on
Great line from Coop tonight.
I agree with that. I think I think it's been neck and neck most of the year. I really think that Coop's like if you look just at the stat sheet, you can make a real argument for Broom, but I think Coop, the defense, the intangible stuff, the stuff that you can't necessarily quantify, I think it puts him over Broom. I think even the stuff you can quantify, like he's putting up less rebounds, more points, sure, but less rebounds. But he's also like stuffing steals, blocks. He leads Duke in everything. He leads the team that I think is the best team in the country, even if the AP voters don't, in everything. And that's really impressive. That's National Player of the Year type stuff to me.
Yeah, Russ, has your mind changed, Russ?
No, I like it. It has nothing to do with what I think, and it has everything to do with what I think is going to happen. And I agree with the take right there. I mean, we've seen that Broom was off of Auburn for a couple games, and they still won. Even when he went out early in this game, he had a shoulder injury, and he went out, and Auburn went on like a 7-1, 8-1 run or something while Broom was off the floor. I mean, I think there's a good argument that Flagg is more indispensable to Duke than Broom is indispensable to Auburn. I think that's true. I just think at the end of the day, the fact that 2/3 of Auburn's games have been quad one games and the strength of schedule that they have is preposterous. They have something like 5 more quad one wins than literally any other team. I mean, like their run is just preposterous right now.
It is.
And I think that the narrative, because it's a narrative award, right? I think just the narrative of their team is so strong, he is the heart and soul of that team. I think that's what's going to carry him unless Flagg's statistical domination is that much higher, or unless Auburn drops a couple of games. That's kind of how I feel. Unfortunately, Cooper is my player of the year, but I don't get a vote. I think that the people, if Auburn finishes with this insane slate with like only 1 or 2 losses, and they end up with like 16 or 17 quad one wins or whatever, like a record in the history of the quad system, I think they're going to reward the best player on the best team. That's what I think.
I mean, I can see that for sure, but at the same time, I think it does go back to that point that Cam, crazy Duke fan, mentioned, and some of what Jack said as well.
It's true.
Duke is not the second best team in the country. I don't know if they're a top 15 team in the country without Cooper Flagg. Maybe not top 20 if country without Cooper Flagg. Janai Broom, we've seen twice already. Auburn has won on the road without him. Even today's game, that's just kind of why I hope like the writers or the voters are watching the context of it. Auburn shot the lights out. Like their guard play, like that's what carried them today in their win over Ole Miss. So, I know the schedules are definitely lopsided for sure between Duke and Auburn, but Cooper also does show up in every single quad one game they've played. So I'm pretty sure his stat line is still 20 points per game in quad one games, whether it was at Arizona, at Louisville, Auburn, Kentucky, Kansas. He shows up and shows out for those games as well. So I mean, if we theoretically were in that situation where we're playing the same schedule as Auburn, I don't think the numbers are changing. But I just think in terms of importance, if this is National Player of the Year and we're valuing it as an MVP award, if we're using the same, I guess, definition of MVP, Cooper is the best MVP in the country.
I think there's a world in which, because he is the number one pick in the NBA draft next year, I do think there's a narrative that carries him that way, right? Like he's a sensation, and I think that matters. He was 17 when he started the year. People are very impressed by it, as they should be. It's just a matter of, do they think it's more impressive that Auburn is dominant in a schedule that's completely insane, or do they think that Cooper's run, given his age, given everything else about him, is more insane? And we'll see. I'm starting to see media people shift towards Broom. So that's the reason why I kind of think it's Broom right now, unless Auburn drops a couple of games.
If you're using Billis as that, Billis doesn't count. He just want to be.
No, not Billis. Not Billis. More reasonable people than Billis. But I think I'm seeing a lot of people going like, what Auburn is doing, nobody would have ever expected, and I think that that's true.
Sure.
But Duke also beat Auburn. I mean, like it's hard to deny that too. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Ken Pom is going to have Cooper as the Player of the Year at the end of the year. I would be very surprised if that changes. So people who are very analytically savvy will probably have Cooper. But there's a disconnect when it comes to a team that's that much tougher a slate than anybody else. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. I think there's definitely a lot of basketball left to be played. Auburn
For sure
has to win, obviously, too. Duke, I don't think. I mean, I don't want to. I'm gonna knock on wood. I don't think they're gonna be challenged from here on out. I mean, next week versus Clemson is the, I guess, final test in a way. But yeah, I mean, going forward for this team, what are y'all thoughts? Because this was a game that was tabbed as a potential loss. Or are you still in favor of Duke not running the table? Is Duke dropping one?
I don't know. I think running the table certainly is a possibility. I think Clemson's going to be the biggest challenge from here on out, but it's really hard to win 20 games, even if they lose to Illinois. Like it's hard to win 20 out of 21 games.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to win 21 in a row. It's difficult. It's doable, but it's difficult.
Where do you see the hiccup? If you don't think they're going to win 20 in a row, where do you see the hiccup?
That's the question. I don't know if there is a hiccup. That's the thing. Like I honestly do think it's doable. I think it'll be a stupid game that they have no reason to lose, like that 17-18 team losing to Boston College.
Yeah. Hold on, let me share this tab.
Yeah, I to co-sign what Jack said. I mean, I still feel that way. It hasn't really changed. I mean, like the fact that Malik is back helps significantly.
Yeah.
That makes me pretty bullish. But like Ken Pom still has Duke at about a 42.5% chances of going undefeated in ACC play, which, to be clear, is insane. That's so high. That's
very high. Yeah.
insanely high for any team. So, I mean, that's still a credit to Duke. I mean, next Saturday is the obvious difficult game, right? Like, Clemson is the sort of team that has given Duke some trouble this year. They play very physical. They play very, very physical. They're grown men, right? Like, they are an old team. They play tough. They play physical. They play hard. They're going to have a lot of physical play that Duke fans are going to be screaming about fouls, and they're not going to be called fouls. So can Duke win in a game like this? They're going to make a ton of threes. They're one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country. You know, are they going to make their threes against Duke at home in Littlejohn? I would be compelled to say they probably will make a lot of threes, given that this is their biggest game of the year by a landslide. So, you know, what does that mean? If Duke can make it past past that game, I think our chances of going to undefeated are like over 2/3. You know, like they're really, really high at that point. But that's the obvious place where there might be a hiccup. Outside of that, I mean, it might come down to the game in Chapel Hill. Like, you know what I mean? And again, what we saw today, I like our odds significantly in that game. But also they're a team that is very leveraged on free throw attempts. And when you're at home, you get more free throw attempts. Duke gets more free throw attempts at home, right? UNC will get more free throw attempts at UNC. It's just the nature of the thing. So there's a door open for them in a situation like that, I think. But those are the two games that are the very obvious hiccup spots. Outside of that, I mean, maybe if you thought Duke was going to fall asleep at home looking ahead to a spot, but I don't see this Duke team losing at home personally at this point. So,
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like Stanford has been really surging. I don't expect
don't
Stanford
do
to
it.
beat us.
Don't do it. No. Nah, don't.
I might
say
be
that.
at that game. I want to hear this, Russ.
No, I know. But I'm just saying they're traveling 2 days later, right? Like that's what I'm saying is there are spots, and they're traveling to a team that's not very good, but like I feel like those spots where Duke
No,
is
we
about
play
to
Stanford
travel.
at home.
Huh?
Yeah.
We play Stanford at home.
That's what I'm saying, but they travel to UVA on Monday.
Okay.
And again, a UVA team that we should beat, but also that's a tough place to play sometimes, even when UVA sucks, which they do this year. Like, I expect Duke to win at UVA, but like if you look ahead to any spot at all on a schedule where there are nothing but bad games ahead, like it's really, really hard to figure out where those. Like, it's hard to stay vigilant. You know what I mean? It's like Mad Eye Moody said in the Harry Potter movies, constant vigilance. You know, you need to be constantly vigilant. And this is still a young Duke team at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, but I think by now, I mean, it's February, like the young, they're heavily tested at this point.
I agree.
Tuesday, that's going to be environment, though. Oh, right. We play on Tuesday, right? That's Q's?
Wednesday, the Carrier Dome.
Wednesday, Malik Brown homecoming game. That's going to be an environment because
if we lose to one of the worst Syracuse teams I've ever seen, then I'm going to be really upset.
Yeah, that was.
It's a look ahead spot. I agree with Zion that it's a look ahead spot. Maybe we don't cover the spread. It's going to be like a 19, 20 point spread or whatever. But like, maybe we don't cover the spread. But like, that is a game. That team sucks. Duke has lost to teams that suck in the past. I'm not saying it's impossible, but that team sucks. And Clemson does not suck at all. You know, Clemson's pretty good, in fact. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see, you know, where the laps might be because I'm slowly trending toward. They're just gonna get it done 20-0, and I'm gonna just like hope maybe the ACC tournament we take a hit because I don't want to be, like I said, I don't want to be on a 25 game winning streak going into the tournament just because that's a lot of pressure. But yeah,
I don't know, man. But if we beat Illinois in the midst of that streak, I feel pretty good. Like Illinois is going to be a team that makes a deep run, probably. I know they're not ranked. I know they've dropped a couple of games, but they've got an electric player. They got good like inside defense.
they've
They've dropped some games in Big Ten play. I get it.
Is
But like,
Avisa's going to be back by then?
yeah. I'd be surprised if he's not. I mean, if he's not, that's a different story. But like, KJ is a monster. He's going to be like a top 8 draft pick. You know, like that's high caliber talent, the type that we're not going to see in ACC play, period, like at all. You know what I mean? So
they got some guys. Will Riley will be a draft pick. Keelan Boswell beat us last year, so
for sure they got dudes. And again, like nobody. I know that Ian Jackson will be like a lottery guy or whatever, or like mid first. But KJ will go. KJ will go higher. KJ will go higher.
No, he will. He will.
Yeah,
he will.
Like that's a different caliber of talent at the end of the day.
Yeah. But back to this game because
because then I gotta go in like 5 just to let you know.
Yeah, that's cool. I know a lot of people are gonna. I hate to do it, but like people were spamming my comments at the end of the game. Is Isaiah fully out of the rotation?
No, not at all. I thought he played decently for the limited minutes he had. I just think, like, dude, people overreacted to the big run that he had earlier in the season. That's all. Like, I think that he continues to play. He continues to get minutes, right? It's not a lot of minutes, but he does continue to see the floor. You know, unlike some other players, he sees the floor on a regular basis. He doesn't play as much as maybe we'd like, but again, I thought he played pretty good defense tonight. I would have liked to have seen him play more, but like also our top 5 and then Mason Gillis, the way he's been playing, and Malik Brown, who in those top 7, who's he taking? AB just made the exact point I was about to make. Who's he taking minutes from?
Yeah.
Who in the top 7 is Isaiah playing better defense than and playing better offense? Like, who is he more of a net positive than in the top 7 right now? That's not a slight to him. We just have a sick top 7. We have an unbelievable top 7.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. I think Evans is very, very clearly a guy who will start for Duke next year, like who is in pole position to start for Duke next year.
Mm.
And I don't think the amount of minutes that he plays down the stretch here, I don't think that has anything to do with that. I think Isaiah Evans would gladly trade minutes, like he would gladly sacrifice minutes this year for Duke to make like a Final Four title type run. You know what I mean? Like that's he's a team player. He's from North Carolina. He knows what all this means. I don't have worries about Isaiah Evans going forward.
Well, yeah. What about you, Jack?
I mean, I agree with most of what Russ said. I think he is a really good player, but the team is just really loaded. It's tough. It puts John in a tough spot with him specifically, especially because of the defense. Like he wasn't playing early in the year because of his issues in practice on defense. You know, he's improved there. He had a couple of really good defensive possessions tonight.
He did.
But, you know, we're gonna have to, like, you know, I say we, but the coaching staff is going to have to see a little bit more than that. And we as fans also are going to have to see a little bit more than that. If we want to see him on offense, we have to see him on defense. Be engaged. Stay engaged. I also think he would happily take a Final Four championship run in exchange for less playtime this year. I believe that he is in line to start if he's on Duke's roster next year.
Yeah,
I think he will.
I'm not trying. I want to make it abundantly clear. I'm not trying to fuel any speculation.
Yeah,
I am just saying that because we know that anything can happen.
He played more. Yeah. He played more than Mason Gillis and Caleb Foster tonight. Like not by much, but he was. Somebody pointed out in the comments. I forget who it was, but he played the 7th most minutes of any Duke player tonight. Like I know that's not as much as people want to see, but like. You know what I mean? He played the 7th most minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I think. Yeah, go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
I see comments. I do not think he's going to transfer. I think he's going to have one of those Grayson Allen freshman moments. I am literally just saying this because everything is incredibly fluid in the college basketball landscape right now. I don't know if anyone that's on this year's Duke team is going to be there next year. I'm saying stuff like that for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's too. It's kind of a little bit too because now our rotation has gone back to not even, I don't even say it's expanded. Our rotation now with Malik has gone back to its original form. Where Malik Brown is the sixth man. We all know that. Like that's never changing. He's the sixth man. So now the guys after it is going to probably be on a game by game situation, and it's probably, Isaiah did play more than Mason tonight. I don't know how much of that was like from second half. I think Mason probably played more in the first half. But we have to factor in Mason now, Isaiah, Malik. And
Mason called fouls tonight too. I mean,
he did.
Yeah.
He had 4
caught
fouls in 7
very
minutes.
quickly. Yeah, so I still think Isaiah's eighth in the rotation after Malik and Mason at this point.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, because again, I'm seeing some people make comments. I think that freshmen coming back and seeing their roles, I think that's a little easier in the conversation, Jack, to your point of like the landscape is open. If you are somebody who has been here for more than 1 year and maybe isn't overjoyed with your role, which we saw a couple of people last off season make that decision. I think that makes it a little easier to have conversations on the outside. But if you're a freshman and the staff says, "Hey, we believe in you," I don't know, and you're at Duke, I feel like I'm less skeptical about freshmen going than I am about people who have been for multiple years who then might believe that potentially grass could be greener elsewhere.
Yeah. I don't even want to dive into where you're going because I know where you're.
No, I'm not, and it's honestly, it's not even a specific player. I think it's true about any school that is high up in the echelon, like your Dukes, your Kansases, your Kentuckys, your like any big name program. It's not just, I know people are gonna like draw what I've said. I don't know anything or anything. I'm just saying that I think that when you choose to go to a school like that's a blue blood school, you don't want to easily leave. And in fact, we had at least one player that I thought was going to come back this year that I was pretty surprised based on what I'd been told. Like, I think they would have come back, but like, life gets a lot harder, right? Like, it gets a lot harder to continue coming back over and over. And the staff and the players have honest conversations. I don't know, but I think any school that's Duke or like the tier below Duke, any blue blood or like aspiring blue blood, if you're there multiple years and you feel like you're not, you feel like you could do more, you're going to have conversations. Right. But I think freshmen still are going to have that, like, I could be one of the guys at a school of this caliber. So I say all of this to say I have no concern about somebody like Evans at all at this point.
Yeah, and it was just to address, I guess, the ongoing conversation online, that consistent, regardless of if Duke blows a team out, they'll always ask about Isaiah Evans or Caleb Foster.
Sure.
And we will just one of them.
And both did well tonight, I thought. Both did well.
Yeah.
I thought they both played well. Yeah.
Listen, I'm not complaining. We were up 30 on UNC tonight. I'm not complaining about anything that happened this game. I think John made the right decisions that we needed to make. I honestly think even with this next matchup, I think we didn't even show them. I think, I guess our zone is emergency. We don't need to do it now with Malik back, but I think we still have a lot of ways to flash different types of defenses at him, and even lineups in itself. I thought we didn't really show anything tonight, and we ran.
Listen, I think UNC would have been happy for a zone in the sense that when you're down a lot, you want to shoot threes a lot. Like when the game is real close, you want to flash a zone. But if you're up 15-20, you don't want to flash a zone because teams want to shoot threes against you anyway. Like, so I don't think that would have happened. I got to go.
Yeah.
Go Duke. Go to hell, Carolina. Sign if you need me, shoot me a text on all
Yeah,
the stuff.
yeah,
But I'll see you later.
yeah, man.
Jack, nice to meet you, man.
You too, Russ.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if y'all have any questions. So we'll maybe just a couple questions before we head out of here. No Darren Harris stuff, man. Let's not talk about Darren Harris. I love that dude, but we got other topics to talk about. Why did we take our foot off the gas tonight? Anyone else feel like we did that? Jack, what do you think?
We did. I'm not gonna sit here and act like giving up an 18-2 run isn't taking your foot off the gas, but I mean, up 30, a bunch of guys are gassed because look at the minute split. We had 4 guys play over 30 minutes.
Right.
Like these things happen. Cooper played 38 minutes in a game that Duke was up 30 at one point. You're gonna be tired.
Nah, and he was sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like this is what happens when you play so many minutes. I
Yeah.
think, your mind can start to wander since it was such a blowout. The physical and the mental fatigue take effect.
Yeah, I agree. I don't put too much stock into it. I tweeted. I guess I was tweeting the game was over early and people were getting mad about it because it was a 17-2 run for UNC, whatever what it was. But I mean, we didn't even have our main. I mean, there was a stretch there was John was playing Pat, Caleb, Isaiah. Like, not that we won't see that lineup often, but like, I mean, it was clearly they took the foot off the gas. And I don't think it's something to be really alarmed about. And I'm not sure if UNC is gonna take that into next game. Like, oh, Drake Powell, went on a fabulous run at the end of the game. Maybe he's gonna change the game next time. Maybe they will, but I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference. I think for what they gave, the effort they played with early on in the game, they set the tone early, and there was gonna be a lapse. That's what happens in a rivalry. There's gonna be lapses where a team goes on a run. Carolina just chose to do it when the game was over. So it happened.
Comment there by Derek is a perfect summary of both what you just said and what I think happened.
The Chris Paul.
Yeah, that.
Oh man, the Chris Paul cuts the lead to 42 meme. I saw a question early. Oh yeah, seriously, where does this team rank among previous teams? I mean, how previous? Like how we like?
You want to talk all time?
I don't know all the time. I can't do that until the postseason.
You're right.
Maybe like past 10 years. I've always said in terms of the past 10 years, going back to 2015, that's the championship team. I think this is the most complete roster we've seen since the championship team. I just think we haven't, we've had a lot of talented rosters, whether it's 2019, Bagley's team before that, even Tatum team. But with all those teams, there was still a glaring hole.
Yes.
I don't think this team has a glaring hole at all.
Yeah, I agree. Like you look at 17, 18, 19, the 17 team didn't really have a true center. 18 couldn't play defense in the front court. 19 was 4 players deep. Like this team is deep. This team is talented. This team does not have any real holes except I guess the closest thing you can say, the closest thing to a hole this roster has is lack of a true point guard, and even that's not necessarily the case.
Right. Like I've said that as well. I don't even think this team needs. I don't think we need the narrative that you need a pure point guard to win national championship.
No.
I just think we have enough people that can make a play, and we have obviously a wild card in Cooper Flagg that is a playmaker in itself. That I don't think is gonna point guard play is not gonna be our downfall.
No.
Yeah. So I think this team, like I said, if we had to put a label on it, I'd just say the best roster since 2015. So we'll see where they end up. We can rank them when we get the tournament results, and
We'll talk about this in April.
Right. But let's slow it down for now.
Is there?
Let me see what else we got. Where does Jay Billis rank among ESPN broadcast? I don't know, man. I'm not a Billis guy, so
I
he's
mean,
cool. Yeah. What you got?
so in which way? There are three different ways you can talk about it, in terms of basketball career, in terms of being a broadcaster, or in terms of people who follow me on Instagram, because those are three different categories.
Oh man.
As a player, he went to a national championship game. He
No,
was
we're
the
not talking
starting
about a
center.
player. This is pure.
I know. Look, I'll tell you this much. Jay Billis interacts with so many of my posts on Instagram. He very much does love Duke, even if he can't openly express it during the games.
Yeah.
I know everyone hates having him on the mic, but cut him a little slack, knowing that if he says anything positive about Duke, he's getting hammered with the Duke alum bias.
I mean, that is true. I mean, but I think he tries so hard to avoid it that it's just very annoying at points. I'm not.
I know. Oh, I know it is. I hate it, especially when you look at guys like Kenny Smith, who are allowed to be open about their fandom.
Right.
And then any and all Duke people are like, if you say anything positive about Duke, you're fired.
Right. I mean, Jay Williams goes through it too.
He does.
It's tough. It's tough to do as like the main national broadcast. I think it's different when you're on ACC network like Carlos Boozer. Like you could play a little bit Homer without getting the backlash, but yeah, that is what it is. Where does Coop rank for best freshman in Duke history?
I've had this discussion like 6 times in the last 2 days.
I mean, again, I feel like this is a situation where let me let him finish the season, but I would say where he's trending toward, he's top 2 right now. I think it's him and Zion.
Yeah.
Where
Can I just sorry, Zion, I didn't mean to cut you off. Can we just point out that the person who scored the second most points in a season in Duke history isn't even in consideration for best freshman in Duke history?
That is true.
That's how good Duke's, like how deep Duke's freshmen have run the last 15 years.
Mm-hmm. And he does get a lot of slack for his run at Duke. You're talking about RJ Barrett.
I am undeserved. The free throws are not the issue, guys.
Yeah,
So clear.
But yeah, I agree. I think Cooper, he's trending towards being he could be number 1, he could be number 2. I think he'll get number 1 depending on his postseason success. Yes. But he's up there right now. Tonight was another another momentous performance that people will remember. So he keeps on stacking, and we'll get to that discussion in March. I saw Nate Ament. Where is it at? There we go. I think this was a different one. How good a game was this for Nate Ament to be at tonight? I mean, I feel like it's a good week for Duke in terms of the Nate Ament race, because he went to Tennessee earlier this week, and Tennessee got blasted. I'm pretty sure this week early in the week.
Yeah, it was the game against Kentucky.
Yeah. So, hey, I think Duke is in good position with the Nate Ament. Not dropping anything. I've heard some things, but I've also heard people argue against it. But I do think they're in good position with him. And we got some recruits, Shelton, the Boozers, they're all over him. So we'll see. He did look mad tall. Did you see the video of him?
He did, yeah.
He looked like
that's not 6'9".
Yeah, he looked 6'11" to me. And if he's 6'11" shooting the ball where he is, the way he is, that is scary.
That's KD, bro.
That does look very KD-ish. I'm not gonna lie. I know people make the KD comparison often to people, but that's
at 6'11" doing that. That's like real KD type stuff.
Yeah. But we'll see. It's a lot of teams in the race, but I'll
let you guys know a little secret I heard, which is that the Nate Ament sweepstakes will probably end this month.
Mm, okay, okay. Well, what are we thinking? End of the month, middle of the month?
I heard he might. His original plan was to have this be his last official visit, but I heard he might have one more in the tank, and once that's over with, he's going to make his decision.
Okay, okay. Oh, oof. Let's go. Hey, it's stacking up to be if he does, they do land him. That's another stacked roster, another
Yeah.
stacked freshman class. Maybe beats this freshman class. We'll see. We'll see. But it's definitely a stacked crew there with Nick Kamenia too. I think he was the only one that didn't come tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. No, Kyle Ryan did not get kicked off the show. As I said last episode, Ryan, he's just been busy. So, we may not see him for a while, but he'll be back. He'll be back. So, whenever we can bring people on, like my guy here, Jack, we'll bring others on too to fill in for him as well. But yeah, I don't know if y'all have any more questions. I think that's probably it for tonight. It's a blowout win. I need to go celebrate. I need to go celebrate on
Yeah.
Twitter. We need to go take this one in. Are they burning the benches? I bet they're burning the benches outside.
so.
But this was a great win. Appreciate my guy Jack for joining us tonight. We'll be back. Maybe Syracuse Wednesday. I don't know because we definitely have to be back next Saturday. And y'all been getting way too many episodes in like a 7-day span. So we need some rest too. But we'll figure that out, or we'll let you know. But we appreciate y'all for tuning in. What a win tonight. Go make fun of your UNC fans if you know any. So go celebrate.